you guys. Thanks for jumping on. I'm a little bit early. I thought I'd give some time for everyone to jump on. I'm going to invite some people here. If you jump on, say hello. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm going to try to keep this intro short just because I know that a lot of people will catch the replay. The reason I'm jumping on live, you guys, is because my little guy has had a rough couple weeks and pretty much screams when I'm not holding him. So he's like on the verge of going down right now. So I'm like, I need to get in, do this training, be done. But I might be interrupted by him. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Cheryl. Thanks for coming on. Can you guys hear me? If you can just give me some hearts, I'm going to get started. So Alex asked me to do this training on how to network. I'm so excited to talk about this, you guys. I love networking, and if you kind of take some of the tips that I have to give, I think that you can use it to utilize it in your business and grow your business, okay? So I have some notes in the comments. The first thing I want you to do, I always recommend personal development. The first thing I want you to do, thank you, Amanda. This is Precious Topaz and Sweetheart Pink in an ombre. Like, I can only ever do an ombre for the rest of my life because it makes your lips pop. Okay, so first thing, read the book. I know everyone's doing personal development. I know personal development's a huge thing. Most of the tips I've gotten from networking is from the book Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. So go get that book now. Hey, Allison, thanks for jumping on. A lot of the stuff that I do and how I've changed my mindset is in that book. So first of all, I want you guys to think outside of social media. Social media is a great platform and such a great place to sell, but there is such a huge network outside of social media that they don't even know what's happening on social media. So if you're in a rut right now where you're like, oh my gosh, everyone's selling Lipsense, the market is so saturated. It is not even saturated. The tip of the iceberg has not even been touched with Lipsense. If you think that, it's because whatever social media you're on, all the people you run with are selling it. So you need to branch out of there. But there is a huge world. I could do a whole video on saturation. That it's not a real thing. So this is going to be on face-to-face, in-person, real life networking. Okay, so I've gotten some amazing leads that are about to change my business through some of these points. So number one, when you're networking, you need to be genuine and tell your own story. And I know we hear that all the time, but I just feel like it's still underutilized and underplayed. So I'll tell you a little bit about some of the deals I'm working on closing right now and how I got to them. So I decided that I wanted to really take Lipsense into our local wedding industry. I have no ties to the wedding industry, you guys. I'm a nothing from nowhere. I have moved here about 6 years ago, so it's not even like I've lived here forever and I have all these contacts. So what I did was, he's about up. He's having such a hard time. I don't know what's going on with him. I went to the so first I was like, okay, I want to get this in the wedding industry, but how am I going to do that? So I went to, and this is my second point, and I'm going to kind of tie these all together, is think of who you need to get your product in front of, like a big person or a big industry, and then go for that. So my thought was I want to get in the bridal industry. So do your research. So what I did was I went to our local Chamber of Commerce page, okay, and I found an event. I was actually planning on going to that event. I didn't end up going because my kids got sick, which is the story of my life. I went and I friended every single person going to that event. Now, don't do that too much now because Facebook is cracking down. I just got out of Facebook jail because I messaged too much. So just do it in fives. I friended everyone, and then I sent them a message, said, hey, I saw you were going to this event. I'm going to be there. I'm planning on going, and I'd love to hook up with you. My name's Colleen, and I recently started my own makeup business, distributing a high-end vegan makeup line. That's all you're going to say. Don't say, I sell Lipsense and I want you to sign under me. I'm sure you wouldn't say that anyway, but I'm just saying some people would. I said, I work out of my home. I started my own makeup business, and I'm just really trying to connect with local women. I instantly got so many good responses from that, you guys. Most people are very, very, so supportive, especially if you go to, your Chamber of Commerce. I'm sure they have, women events. They're like, oh, that's awesome, and they want to hear your story, right? So then I noticed I stalked each of them. And yes, it's okay to stalk. Like, don't be a creeper, but know your audience. Like, I Googled them. So I got a name. Her name was Kathy Minnick. I was like, what is Kat? She started talking to me. I was like, what does this lady do? I started stalking her and turned out that she is a manager, like the top account manager of a local venue that is like a resort kind of, where people can have their weddings. So she started messaging me. I was like, hey, I'm, and first I told her my story and asked about herself. So I said, I'm a mom, I'm a military mom. We discharged from the military. I work from home because I want to stay home with my kids, but I, blah, 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 blah. And they love that. Like, talk about them. I'm like, what do you do? How long have you been in business? Your location is so pretty. I was looking it on Google. I can't believe that you are the manager there. And then she'll ask you, I told her all about my story. So create that friendship. Don't go in with the sale first. So then I said, okay, listen, I am trying to get this makeup line in the wedding industry. I have no contacts. I would love to meet with you for lunch and pick your mind. And she's like, awesome, no problem. Set up a meeting. Okay, that was about a week out. I met her. She had already tried Lipsense, and someone had her sign as a distributor under them, but she fell out of contact with them. So I went with her. I talked to her. Sweetest lady ever, you guys. We're like best friends now. I said, so I gave my whole sales pitch. I was like, she's not interested in being a distributor, and she just wouldn't be the person I was really looking for. But let me see. So start at the bottom. This is my next point. Start at the bottom and make your way to the top. So she wasn't necessarily the person I needed to distribute or become a distributor, but she could get contacts. So I said, or she has contacts, right? She's in the wedding industry. At the end of our meeting, I said, is there anyone? Oh, and I gifted her a kit, a whole kit, you guys. Yes, that came out of my pocket. Yes, that was a business expense, but that's what it takes to be in business. If you want to, it's either go big or go home. If you want to just make a couple extra $100, that's great, and there's an opportunity for you. But if you want to go big, you have to invest. And here's what really changed my mindset with that. Before I was like, I don't want to do freebies. Like, it just attracts people who want free stuff. And I was like, so I'm not saying you should give out stuff all the time. I'm not saying you should do sales all the time. But what changed my mindset was like, I need to give my product to the right people and do more giveaways. I follow a lot of high-end makeup artists on YouTube that have like 2 million followers. You guys, they are constantly doing giveaways, like $300 valued giveaways. So my thought was, if they have 2 million followers, like loyal following, they're already making a ton of money, and they still are doing giveaways to keep growing, there's no way I'm going to be able to grow without doing it. So be creative with your giveaways. I can do a whole video on giveaways, but be creative with your giveaways. Like, I am a proponent of like valuing the product. I do a lot of giveaways outside of Lipsense in my group, but if it's somebody that I really want, sorry, my back's like hurting. And this is the only place I have good lighting. If it's someone that I really need like connections from or see a lot of potential in, I will gift them a free kit, and I do it fairly often for collaborations. Okay, that was a side note. So start at the bottom, work your way up to the top. So I'm like, do you have, and always ask for contacts. Like, ask in a genuine way. I told her my whole story. I was like, look, my husband works, like, I get down and dirty, you guys, because you want these people to love you. You want these people to connect with you and know your story and know what your purpose is. That's what will get you to where you want to go. So I was like, look, I'm a mom. Hey, Marjorie, thanks for jumping on. I'm like, look, I'm a mom. I'm trying to make this money from home. My husband works this job. It's a great job, but it's super dangerous. I don't want him to have to work so hard. I told her my whole why, you guys, so you need to make sure you have a good why. I'm like, I want this to supplement our income so we can pay off our debt, so we can go overseas and help in an orphanage or help in some mission, like boots on ground, not just financially. Like, we want to go over, like, take a couple weeks off every year and go over and help. And she was like eating that up, you guys. People love your story. She was like, that is so amazing. Like, okay, here's who you need to contact. And she gave me all these connections. She's like, tell them I sent you. I'm friends with them. I was like, thank you so much. So then, okay, so don't sweat the small things. And this is really hard to do when you're just getting started. When you're just getting started, all you can see is like, okay, I don't want to sign them as a distributor because I'm only getting 10%, but if I make the sale, I'm getting 50%, so I'm just not going to talk to them. Or like, oh, I don't want to give a free kit away. I might lose $25 because that's, you get a 50% off if you're buying in bulk, which you absolutely should be if you're running a business. That's a whole nother video too. But don't be so like greedy that you're like, the greedier you are, the harder you hold on to money and the harder you hold on to your stuff, the harder it's going to take to get to you. I'm just going to leave that right there. Read personal development books. The more, I'm not saying not to be frugal. I'm not saying not to keep track of things. But the more you're like, I just don't want to let this dollar go. I just don't want to let this lip cut to go. The longer it's going to take for that stuff to come back to you. I promise you. So don't sweat the little things. Another thing is, every time I take these people out to lunch, I buy them lunch. And it's hard sometimes. Like, I know it's hard. I understand that. I collaborated with my OBGYN. I took her and a couple of her staff out. I bought lunch. It was like $120. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do I even have this money? That wiped me out, my business out for the month. But then I got contacts out of it. We collaborated. We had an event. They bought from me. And so you need to not be foolish with your money. And I know that's like, I'm not saying just go buy whatever, but I'm saying don't sweat the little things and think big picture, okay? So anyway, I said, hey, give me these contacts. I contacted all of the people she told me about. So I'm almost done. As soon as I'm done, you can come out and then we're going to make lunch, okay? Or a snack. Lunch is over. So then she gave me a contact for Jennifer Bergstresser, who owns the local bridal magazine, which is like a local The Knot type deal. And she's like, this is your lady, contact her. I'm like, awesome. I called Jennifer up. Or I went on Facebook, stalked her, messaged her. I said, hey, I just met with Kathy. She told me about you. I would love to take you to lunch. I told her the whole story. No problem. I'd love to meet you. You guys, these people are so nice. Like, I get mean people all the time too. But if you get with the right people, they're so nice. And the thing is, when someone's mean and a jerk to you, you don't want to work with them anyway. So it's almost like, okay, thanks for being a jerk. I know not to give you free product. And I know not to work with you because you're mean. So then I went to Jennifer. I met with her. Jennifer, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Brandy. Is anyone else having a problem watching? I'm going to put this on YouTube so you can catch it later, Brandy. So I met with Jennifer, and Jennifer's like, I love you too. You're adorable. Thanks for jumping on. So Jennifer's like, I told her my whole story, and first I listened to her story, and oh my gosh, you guys, this poor lady, she was like pouring out her heart to me. People need friends, so be their friend. I'm like, tell me about when I met her, I said, hey, thank you so much for meeting me. Tell me about your bridal magazine. Like, that's so amazing that you're running that. And then she's like, oh, thank you so much. And she told me her whole story, and I listened and I asked questions and I was genuinely interested. And before I went, I stocked out the whole magazine. I knew like more about her business than probably she even does. So she knew that I wasn't just trying to get something out of her, that I cared, right? So she ended up telling me this whole story about her husband getting cancer, and it was so sad. She literally were like having coffee and she's like sobbing, and I'm like sobbing with her because I'm just like, when I see people hurting, I just start crying. Like it's like a problem I have actually. So we're both like crying. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's okay. I'm sorry too. It's just been so, it just happened recently. So best friends, you guys. So then I'm like, listen, I want to give you a free kit for meeting with me. And she was like, no. I'm like, no, I want to. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. Turns out she runs 13 wedding vendor events with her bridal magazine in the area. And she's like, listen, I will give you first dibs, you and your team, and all of our events for the whole year. I will not let any other Lipsense people in. Do you guys know how huge that is? The events were like $225 each, so they are a little bit expensive. In our area, they run anywhere from $225 to $1,000 each, okay? So hers was a lower range for us. I'm like, thank you. I thanked her over, and I'm like, thank you so much. Like, whatever. She calls me like every couple weeks now just to talk. Like, she loves me, and I love her. Like, huge connection, which is so much bigger than business or sales or anything, you guys. So then I went to my first wedding event, and this is another thing about not sweating the little things and thinking big picture. Guys, I was so excited about these wedding events. All over Christmas, I'm like, I'm so excited. Like, this is going to make my whole business. Like, I'm going to win. Like, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to sign this huge team. And first wedding event, you know how many kits I sold? This many. I sold 0 kits, okay? But I talked to a lot of brides that were super interested. But beyond that, and this was my whole plan and strategy, was when I got to the event, I went around to every single vendor. I shook their hand, asked if they had heard about Lipsense, gave them my card, invited them to come over, offered them a discount. I always offer vendors like a 15% off discount. And in that, I got 2 epic contacts, you guys. In that, I got, number 1, the owner of the local bridal salon. She owns it's like a David's Bridal, but it's local to our area, and it's 100 times better than David's Bridal. It's like independently owned. They are so big, you guys. They distribute a line from one of the designers from Say Yes to the Dress, and they're one of the only distributors in the country. And number 2, they have actually done wedding scenes for movies. Like movies with I don't even remember the names. I'm not a big movie watcher, but like one with Jennifer Aniston Hewitt. Is that her name? I'm terrible at names. They did the whole wedding scene. Like they've done 4 different films. Huge contact. I went up to her. I knew that she would be a good contact. And this is not sweating the little things. I didn't know what will come of this. I went up to her. I was like, I love your business. Like I've heard about your shop because one of the ladies I had met with before had told me about her shop. I said, I've heard that you have the best wedding gowns and you're just the best wedding planner. And she was like, oh, thanks. She was so sweet. I'm like, I wanted to gift you with this. Have you heard of it? She said she had not heard of Lipsense. Okay, if you guys aren't paying attention, I'm going to say that again so you can hear it. She had not heard of Lipsense. This is a top bridal industry throughout the nation, which I'll tell you about in a second, who had never heard of Lipsense. If you think the market's saturated, you're crazy, okay? So I'm like, oh my gosh, she hasn't heard of Lipsense. I was like freaking out. I'm like, I want to gift you a free kit. I'm like, this product is amazing. I showed her my stripes. I showed her my color. I'm like, I want to gift this to you, and I'd love to set up a meeting with you. Always set up a meeting right away. Say, when can I meet with you? And sometimes they'll say, give me a call, but I'm like, okay. And if they give you their number and they're like, okay, give me a call, we'll set it up. We'll be like, okay, what's the best time to call you? And then say right in front of them, oh, okay, let me just write this down. I'm going to call you tomorrow at 2 p.m. to set up a meeting. I'm so excited to talk to you about this. And like, I realize I have a lot of energy. And if you're thinking like, I could never do that, I don't have that energy, use your energy to your advantage. I mean, I annoy myself sometimes, you guys. Like, it's okay if you have lower energy or you're not like outgoing or whatever. Use your energy. People will like you for your own reason, but you have to be enthusiastic and passionate about it. So she was so nice. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm like, awesome. Another contact I got there was a local makeup artist and hairstylist, okay? She came over to our booth, actually, and I was like, hey, I was meaning to make it over to your booth. Your booth's so pretty. Talk to her about her stuff, right? Tell her about my story. Have you heard of Lipsense? She's like, I've heard of it. I haven't tried it. I'm like, I want to give you a free kit. Gave her a free kit. I'm like, let's make a meeting. Done. Okay, so out of that, and this is why I'm talking that you have to think big picture. So I paid $225, went to the show, didn't sell anything. I went with one of the girls at Kimberly. She was able to sell, which was awesome. She sold a couple kits, I think, that day. But I was still, and when we left, I was a little bummed because I got these 2 great contacts, but I didn't sell anything. And that's my next one is make peace with the fact that you will strike out a lot. You will get 10 no's for every yes, if not more. But once you change your mindset to realize that that's going to happen, now when I get a no, I'm like, check, awesome. Now I'm closer to a yes. Oh, another no, check, awesome. That means I'm closer to a yes. Like, that's how I think. Like, sometimes I do sulk and pout about it, but I'm like over that. Like, now I'm just like, okay, awesome. No problem. There's someone else out there that will. I just had to ask you because I thought you would be awesome. So I didn't get anything I didn't make anything at the event. I got a lot of contacts. I got a lot of people in my group, all that. So then, I went home, instantly contacted those 2 people, already met with a makeup artist. She loves the product. She's super interested in becoming a distributor. I haven't closed that deal yet, but I'm super, super close. Yes, totally, Alex. And yes, Danny, failing forward. I'm telling you, you guys, I cannot stress, like, every day I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst at this. Oh my gosh, I failed another. Oh my gosh, another person told me no. And then I look back and I'm like, wait a second, how am I making money? How am I having this big business? Like, I looked in my back office yesterday. I think I have 125 or 135 downline. And that's from failing every day, you guys. Like, failing is my best friend. So, the other thing is recognize that if you want one deal to happen, you need to be working on 10, okay? So, in these deals that I'm telling you guys that were awesome, I had more than 10 fall through. I had more than 10 people that I thought were going to be awesome fall through. I had more than 10 people that told me no and were mad or annoyed or whatever fall through. But I have these 2 huge leads now, which has been worth everything. So then yesterday, this is what I called Alex on the way home, and I was like losing my mind. She was probably like, oh my gosh, you're smoking crack. So I called her. I met with this bridal lady yesterday, you guys. Are you ready for this? Just get ready for this because you're going to lose your minds. I couldn't sleep. I was like up all night brainstorming, and my husband's like, can you go to bed? I have to get up at 4:30. I'm like, I know. I'm just so excited. My business is like huge. So I went and I saw this bridal lady. Bridals by Sandra. Go to her shop. Her shop's gorgeous, huge. Like, I felt like a nobody. I was having an anxiety attack. So if you're thinking I could never talk to these people, here's what you do. Write down, I'm trying to make this not long. Okay, 17 minutes, okay. Write down what you're gonna say to them. So what I did was, before I met with them, like, I was having a panic attack. I'm like, these could be huge for my business. Like, these are professionals. I'm literally a stay-at-home mom from nowhere, like, dropped out of college several times. What am I gonna say to them? So I wrote it out. I wrote out a script. I practiced it on my husband, who was totally making fun of me. I said it to myself over and over and over and over again. I was like, this is what I'm going to say. I think this product would be a great complement to your already thriving business, blah, 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 blah. So still, I did all this, and then I was just like, both times when I went to meet with them, I was having a panic attack on the way there. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? Is this even worth it? Like, yesterday, I don't know why I was having anxiety so bad. It's that fear. It's the enemy that comes in and plants fear in your mind. You have to be stronger than it, okay? So I was driving there. I'm like, why am I here? Like, oh yeah, Jessica, my husband makes fun of me all the time. I'm like, why am I even doing this? Maybe I'll just blow it off. Like, my kids have been sick. I'm like, I'm just going to call her and tell her I don't want to come in because my kids are sick. Like, I felt so nervous about it. And then I'm like, no, I'm going in. So the whole way there, I was like panicking. I get in. I'm like, hi, is Suzanne available? We had a meeting. They're like, sure. So I'm like, oh, I had my Lucky 7 bag. They loved it. They're like, what a nice bag. I'm like, I know. So then she comes out. She's like, I remember you from the wedding show. Come, I'll show you the building. Huge building, like gorgeous. Like, seriously, it looks like a building that would be in Say Yes to the Dress. Like, high end, you guys. Like, the mother of the bride gowns were like $700 that were on sale. Like, high end. So she brings me back, and she started talking first. She was like, so remember this, she's like, I was watching you at the wedding show, and your energy was contagious. She's like, you believe in your product so much. That's what she said. She's like, you believe in your product and what you stand for so much that you walked around the building and handed your card to everyone and said hello to them and told them about your product and asked for a collaboration. That's what she said. And let me backtrack. When we got to that event, and Kimberly was there with me, at all these events, the vendors kind of like stay to themselves. I don't know why. It's like everyone's kind of like shy or nervous. And getting yourself out there is scary. Like, I didn't want to go network with them, but it's like, what's the point of even being here if I'm not going to network? She's like, your energy was like contagious. Like, that's what I want in my shop. So I told her all about the product. She's like, she hadn't even tried it yet, which I was like, she's had it for 2 weeks. She's like, I haven't had a chance to try it. I'm really excited too. But I think that this would be an amazing compliment to my business. She's number one. They have their own bridal magazine catalog that she's like, give me all of your brochures and I will put them in here with your contact information. No problem. She's not even charging me. So I can get all of my flyers, business cards, whatever I want to get. She'll distribute them. They go out to like thousands of brides, okay? That was one. Number two, she's like, I have a whole makeup center in my area. It's this big mirror with makeup lights and makeup chairs that I need someone to come in on Saturdays and do makeovers are you guys smelling what I'm stepping in? Makeovers on my brides and their parties. Like this Saturday, I have like 25 brides booked with like 4 to 6 in their party. You can absolutely come in and do makeovers on them. You guys, I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be wonderful. And inside I'm like, like if I did that 2 times a month, you guys, there are my demos for the month, right? I'm going to try to do every Saturday during business season or during wedding season. And she's like, takes me around. I'm talking to her about the business and she's like, yeah, like, you know, and we're telling her all about it. Then, are you ready for this? Get ready for this. This is huge. She was like, okay, so my husband, we actually distribute wholesale. Oh yeah, I was kermiting like crazy, Kimberly. She's like, we distribute gowns on wholesale to 37 bridal shops throughout the country. 37. We sell them bridal gowns and we have consults with them. I'm like, oh, okay. So like, do you think you could like give me some of those contacts or asking for referrals? I said, would you be interested in that? Would you be interested in presenting this? She's like, I absolutely want to present this to them. She's like, I'm like, well, if you're going to do that, it's absolutely in your best interest to become a distributor, of course, so then they can sign under you. And she's like, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a great idea. So she's like, I'm going on a tour of the Midwest, Chicago, all of these areas on February 11th, but I'm only going to be hitting up 12 bridal salons. But if you want to send me some testers and paperwork, I would love to do that. And I need to know more about the product. I'm like, 12 bridal salons? Do you guys know how huge this could be? So I'm like, yes, I will absolutely do that. So then I said, let's schedule a meeting. I scheduled a follow-up right there. Can I come back in Thursday afternoon? I have a babysitter. She said, yes, I'll be here. I'm like, awesome. Thursday afternoon, I am, thank you, Rebecca. I don't say so myself. No, I'm not. I'm a huge dork. I just grind. I am on the hustle and grind for like 3 years until I can make this business big. And then I said, okay, so then I rescheduled. Then I said, do you have any other contacts that you think would be interested in this? Or, this is what I asked. I asked her for a specific contact. I had this thing in my brain, I don't know why, it just popped in around December, that I really wanted to get on a local news station to do a 5-minute face. It'd be terrifying, but it'd be a lot of fun and to get my name out there. So I've been trying to get with news stations, but no one will talk to me because I'm a nobody. So I said, do you have any contacts in the local news station that would be willing to get me on and do like a 5-minute face and just show some techniques in our products? She's like, I absolutely do. I have a really good friend. She's super high up in the local news station. Here's her name. Tell her I sent you. Here's her contact information. That'd be awesome if you could do that. So I'm like, yes. So I got her name, contact information, set up. I'm following up with her. Oh, by the way, she said she specifically said, your bag is so professional. Then she brought 2 of her girls in. She's like, they had never heard of Lipsense either. One of the girls she brought in who works there, she was like in her mid-20s. She's like, I've never heard of Lipsense. They have never heard of it, you guys. So here's the thing. If you are not hustling in your area, there's going to be a me who is. I promise you, there are more distributors out there that are going to hustle. So those of you who are in areas that have not been saturated with Lipsense at all, you need to hustle now, because I promise you in the next like 6 months to a year and 2 years and 3 years and 4 years, all of these people are going to sign. They're going to find out this product, and it can be under you. So get your hustle on, get your grind on, and grind it out for a couple years. Not even, you guys, it's not even going to be a couple years. It's going to be a year. It's going to be a year until my business is big enough till I can just, I'll always work my business because I love it. But anyway, now I'm rambling. Does anyone have any questions? I need to go. My little one wants a snack. I can answer any questions. I'm telling you guys, the world is so much bigger than social media. And I do believe social media is a huge platform. I do parties on social media. I do all that crap. But not crap. I don't know why I said that. I guess I was trying to be funny and it just totally failed. There's a big world outside of social media. So now with these demos, I'm getting exposed to new brides and new faces and getting my product on their face, my Lipsense on, my name out there. Not only that, but I'm connecting with them. Nothing's more than a personal connection. if you can learn to talk to people, and trust me, I've had a lot of bad conversations, but learn to connect with people, ask about their life, care about them, you will build an epic business. So I think that's it. I got my notes. I need to save this for YouTube. I'm just making mental notes. Any questions, anyone? No? Thank you all for hanging with me. Come on, baby, you can come out now. I gotta go be a mom again. That's my #1 priority. I love you all. Seriously, girls, go network. Get out there. It is fun, and you're gonna make some amazing friends. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Say have a good day, you guys.
Have a good day, you guys. Look at my dress.
Oh, it's a princess dress. It's very pretty. Love you guys. Thanks for jumping on.